Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you guys about how it is very obvious that the world is headed towards another global conflict, just as it did in World War One and World War Two. You can see things very clearly. You don't need to be some kind of professor or some kind of academic. You don't need to be some sort of geopolitical analyst to see that the world is headed towards a major conflagration, a bloodbath, a torrent of gore and blood. You see Serbia boosting up its military spending, boosting up its military capabilities. You see Poland already declaring that it will be spending 4% of its GDP on its military. You already see Poland saying that it wants to have the largest military in all of Europe. Well, which other country says that it's going to be the leading military power in Europe? Germany. Germany has made it very clear that it wants to be the leading defender of the continent of Europe. Well, if Poland wants to be the biggest military force and Germany wants to be the biggest military force, I mean, they both can't be at the same time the biggest military force. What's going to happen? Is Germany just going to sit idly by as Poland becomes the leading power of Europe? I don't believe that. Germany wants to be the leading power in Europe. Germany wants to bring back its Reich. And do you think they're just going to allow their Slavic neighbor to dominate Europe in the field of military prowess? I would not be surprised at all if in the future Germany and Poland clash. And remember, Poland is very, very filled with anxiety when it comes to not just Russia, but Germany as well. If that were not the case, then Poland would not have been so nervous about Nord Stream 2. Why was Poland so nervous about Nord Stream 2? Nord Stream 2 was based on an agreement between Russia and Germany. The whole idea was for Germany to get natural gas directly from Russia. The whole reasoning of Russia was that it wanted to bypass Ukraine and Poland when exporting natural gas to Germany, because the Russians had to pay billions of dollars into the Ukrainian economy. They had to pay money to Poland in order to transport its natural gas through those two countries, and that gave Poland and Ukraine leverage. It's very interesting that soon after Nord Stream 2 was completed, Russia invaded Ukraine. Probably because it saw no use in it basically recognized that Ukraine had lost much of its leverage. Russia saw the Nord Stream 2 pipeline as a way to bypass Ukraine. Ukraine had no longer any sort of real major grip, geopolitically speaking. And so Russia saw it as its moment, its window of opportunity to invade Ukraine. Of course, Russia invaded Ukraine for other reasons. But I think that with Nord Stream 2, it gave Russia a sense of opportunity that now was the time to hit Ukraine. And Poland was terrified of Nord Stream 2 because Poland did not want to lose its leverage over Russia. And Poland said that the Nord Stream 2 reminded it, and there were numerous Polish officials who made this who talked this way, that that Nord Stream 2 reminded the Poles of the agreement between Germany and the Soviet Union to split Poland apart. So Poland is very worried, not just about Russia, but Poland is also very worried about the rise of Germany. And there is a major tension going on between Poland and the European Union. Poland basically found a loophole by which to throw out liberal judges from its highest court. The EU said you're not allowed to do this. You're supposed to follow the EU's rules regarding your judicial system. Poland said, to hell with you. We're not going to listen. We follow our own judiciary. We're not going to follow the rules of the EU in regards to this. So the EU said, okay, we're not going to give you tens of billions of dollars in COVID funds. And Poland is being fined literally $1 million a day because of this. So there's obviously a lot of tension between Poland and the EU, and Poland feels really isolated from the European Union. And this is actually one of the reasons as to why Poland has been boosting up its military spending, boosting up its military capabilities, its military capacity. Why? If it was just about Russia, why would Poland be bringing up its tensions with the EU? Why would Poland be bringing up its fears in regards to Germany? It's obvious that Poland is boosting up its military, not just as a defense against Russia, but I think also as a defense against Germany. And you see tensions between Turkey and Greece. You see Turkey wanting to become independent in regards to its military industry, not having to depend on the United States military industry for its weaponry. You see Germany boosting up its military spending, talking about conscriptions. You see France talking about conscriptions. The French have also talked about commencing a military project by which to boost up its military capacity. And this project has been going on for some time now. I think it began in 2021, and it's supposed to go on all the way into the mid 2020s, maybe I think 2025, 2027, around there. You see the Baltic states talking about boosting up their military capabilities. You see tensions between Serbia and Kosovo, and in the midst of this, Serbia has been talking about boosting up its military spending. The president of Serbia, Aleksandar Vučić, stated that Serbia must increase its defense capacity, must increase its military strength, and he said that this is absolutely vital for Serbia's survival. Why is there all of this rhetoric? Why is there all of this tension? It's because what we are witnessing right now is an arms race. We're seeing this not just in Europe, but we're seeing this in Asia as well. The Japanese boosting up its military spending. The Chinese are continuously bettering their military capacity. The Chinese have said that basically by 2027, their military is going to be up to a much better standard than it already is. And so what we are seeing is an arms race. And what happened before World War I? Over a decade before World War I erupted, there was a major arms race. The British were boosting up their naval capabilities. The Germans were doing the same thing. The Ottoman Empire was doing something similar. The Ottomans had gathered up a bunch of money to buy 2 British naval ships, and when the war broke out, they couldn't even use these naval ships because the British said, well, we have to use them because we're in the middle of a war. This was one of the reasons. This was actually one of the things that pushed the Ottomans into siding with the Germans. But just as before World War I, there was this major arms race that was happening. What we are seeing right now is an arms race. And the arms race that took place before World War I was occurring about a decade before World War I broke out. And so I would not be surprised if, let's say, in the next 10, 15 years, we see a major war in Europe. I know there's a war already going on, but it's a localized war between Russia and Ukraine. I'm talking about a major war in the European continent. And we've already seen some of this already with, obviously, with Russia fighting Ukraine, but also with Azerbaijan invading parts of Armenia last year. It's becoming very clear. And I think by the year 2027, we're going to be seeing the whole scenario quite clearly. I'm not saying we're going to be seeing war, but I think by then it's going to be quite obvious that a major war will be breaking out in Europe. And that's my prediction. I could be wrong, but that's my estimation. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.